Welcome to the Workamper Show, a podcast devoted to helping you discover how to finance your RV travel dreams. I'm Steve Anderson, the president of Workamper News. Each one of our episodes will either introduce you to people who are already living the RV lifestyle or to opportunities to work short-term jobs. You'll also learn how to hit the road the right way and make the most of every opportunity. Now let's turn over today's show to your host, Greg Gerber.
Thank you, Steve. Today's show features an interview with a couple who has been RVing part-time since 1994 and shifted to full-time in 2016. Today's episode is sponsored by The Dreamer's Journey, an online course and community produced by Workamper News. Life is way too short to keep your dreams on hold, so don't be held back by fear because you were designed for more. Get started with the RV lifestyle the right way with this comprehensive guide. For just $29.95 for 90 days of access, Dreamers have unlimited viewing of 50-plus videos to learn things like what type of RV to buy, goal setting, how to budget for the adventure, developing a positive mindset, setting up a domicile, operating a small business on the road, and how to find the right job for you. Each video is 30 to 90 minutes long and provides an in-depth coverage of each topic. There's no wrong time to get started. For more information, visit www.rvdreamersjourney.com. Ron and Gerry Bays are from Castle Rock, Washington, but they got tired of the nearly consistent rain in that part of the country and just decided to hit the road. They'd already retired from Ron's career as a barge crane operator for a chemical plant and decided to become workampers. Their first assignment was a volunteer position at the state park. They soon decided they wanted to be paid for their time as well as get a free RV site. Their first paid job was working for a KOA after simply calling the campground and asking if the business hired workampers. As luck would have it, the owner had just returned from a campground convention and decided to start a work camping program at that park. Since then, all of their jobs have been working for campgrounds. Ron really likes meeting different people and learning more about them. He also likes landscaping jobs and helping newly arrived campers get settled into their sites. Gerry also likes meeting new people and forming friendships with other work campers and people they meet at campgrounds they're working. One of their favorite jobs was working at a recreation center at a campground in Fort Collins, Colorado. Ron liked helping the kids visiting the campground because they had so much energy. He would help families with paddle boats and bumper boats, and Gerry would help them with mini golf, bouncy toys, and renting bicycles. They faced some challenges in their experiences adjusting to different elevations and quickly changing temperatures, where they'd go from wearing shorts one day to contending with snow the next. They also recalled a time when they got desperately lost in Boston and required directions from some helpful firefighters to get on their way again. To tell us more about their adventures and traveling and experiences they've enjoyed while work camping, please welcome Ron and Gerry Bays to the show. Hi, Ron and Gerry. Thanks for taking the time to come on the show. Tell us a little bit about where you are now and how long you've been RVing.
Well, we're in Yuma, Arizona, and we've been RVing for, a good 5 years, full time. Before that, we bought us a little fifth wheel back in 94, and that was our first adventure of camping, and we kind of went from there to full time.
Okay. Where are you from originally?
Washington, just north of Portland, about 50 miles.
Okay.
Long Utility, Rock, Silver Lake.
I was going to say that's got to be up near Castle Rock.
Yep.
Yes, that's where I grew up most of our life.
Yeah.
Okay.
My wife graduated from Castle Rock,
Very
and
good.
I graduated from Toodle.
Okay.
Yes,
I've been up.
back at the-
Yeah, I love going up in that area of the country. Seattle used to be one of my all-time favorite places to visit in America until all the traffic arrived a few years ago. Now it's hard to get around there.
Yes, very hard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So how long
You
have you
need
been
to
RVing?
well, we started RVing in 94.
Full time.
Well,
No,
full-time.
not full time. Yeah.
Okay.
And our first we didn't know what to get, so we had some friends of ours who worked at Sequest State Park, and they bought a little fifth wheel. So that's what we did. We bought the same because we didn't know what to buy. We didn't like tenting was getting, we were getting old and tents were getting uncomfortable.
We weren't old.
So,
We weren't old in 94.
but the ground was.
That's right. Exactly. You can only handle the sleeping on rocks for so long. And then eventually your body says, no, 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 no. We need to sleep under 5 stars.
Oh, man, yeah.
Yeah. Super.
And
So you bought
so
that fifth wheel in 1994. And when did you go full timing?
4 years. 4 years ago.
And,
Okay.
2016.
Yeah. One day Ron just said, he says, we need to sell the house and go on the road. He says, because Washington rains too much.
It does indeed. Yes. And so what did you do before you retired?
I worked at warehouses. I worked in a chemical plant, and my last job there, I was a barge crane operator.
Okay. And have you been work camping the entire time you've been full timing?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, we've worked camp. This will be our 4th year coming up. It'll be Ron's 4th year, mine 3rd. The first year he just worked and not me because that's what they were looking for.
Okay.
And that was our first experience. And we got to know exactly what we did want and what we did not want.
Okay. What was that? What you determined that was the things that you really wanted and the things you wanted to avoid?
Well, I like working with, I was mostly by myself, and so I was pretty busy all the time, and it's nice to work with other people that are associated with the work camping.
And not one person doing everything all day long, and all you're doing, you work 5 days a week, some days, sometimes 6 days a week. That was, a Ron, what he was doing. And we got was our site. So, we decided after that, it would be nice to be able to get paid too. And, so that's what we looked for, something that we would get paid and also had our site. And then whatever accommodated us with that was kind of cool, which we've gotten, different things. And we just really enjoyed it. This last year we were in Ellensburg, Washington, and we got to meet a lot of new people there. Even though we've been from Washington, we never stayed in Ellensburg. And we started them on work camping. We didn't realize that. No, Ellensburg, they never work camped before. They didn't have Workampers. And they had just been at a convention, and I took and looked on the map and said, okay, we had a grandson on the east coast, east of Washington, and one on the west of Washington. And so I looked to see what was in the middle, and there was a KOA there, and I called them and asked them if they did work campers. And they said they just got back from convention and they were thinking about having him. And so they decided to talk with us back and forth. And before long, that's what they decided to go ahead and hire us. So that was kind of cool.
Okay. Have most of the jobs you've been working at involved working at campgrounds?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And what do you like best about doing that?
Oh, well, I like to keep working on the yards and the parking spots and helping to park the people. Mostly I like talking. Sometimes I talk too much and got myself into trouble because I was spending far too much time getting to know the people, and then I wasn't paying attention to time.
Well, some places really like that when you can chat up the clients and the people who are staying at the parks.
Well, yeah, you make them feel comfortable, and they always say they always liked and they would come back again, and so that made me feel real good to loosen up a little bit. People come from different parts of the country, and they're not sure how we'll respond or how, and when you start talking to them and asking them, what they do and where they're from and how long they've been traveling, it really loosen up, and you really get. Then you're listening then a lot.
Have you made a lot of friends that way?
Yeah, oh, lots of friends. I have a hard time with names, and I always first thing I tell them is I'll probably have to ask you your name 2 or 3 times before I get to remember it, because I meet a lot of people, and there's only one of me. So you meet about 30 or 40 people. And they tell me their last name, but I always say, don't tell me your last name. I have enough trouble trying to remember your first name.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Are you work camping this winter down in Yuma?
No, we work during the summer, and then we take the winter off and come down there, because we have a lot of friends down here, and we get together and spend time together, and that's like our summer vacation. As we leave the wet, the snow, the rain blowing sideways, and come down here, because it doesn't snow under palm trees.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. And Yuma's a nice city too. It's convenient to San Diego and convenient to Phoenix.
Right. You're right. If you need to go to anything bigger than Yuma, you don't have to travel a whole long distance.
Mm-hmm. And what attracted you to work camping in the first place?
We didn't know what we wanted to do, so we talked to people that were work campers in different spots, and they said, that sounds like it would be a neat thing to do, because you want to keep busy when you're retired. You don't want to just do nothing. I mean that. So we got interested and we applied, and that's how it all started.
What about you, Gerry? What did you like about the possibility of work camping?
Well, I enjoy meeting all the new people, because everywhere you go, there's always new people, and you get friends from everywhere. And we have the last year in 2018 or 19, I guess, summer, we took and we're in Fort Collins, Colorado. And we still, talk to the friends that were there. And some of them are in Texas, and some of them are in Minnesota. I mean, they're just all over. And we still keep in track with all of them, in touch with them. So it's kind of nice. And and there was a lot of comedians. There was a lot of people that came there. And, what's nice is when they tell you, we really enjoy the fact of, they can come and have fun, the people that are, the customers, and, you can make them feel like they're wanted and that they're going to have a good time. And I enjoy that. I like the idea that they appreciate, like whatever you do, like when we were doing the rec center, Ron and I did that, and we enjoyed doing what we were doing there.
Yeah, that was nice.
In Fort Collins, and Ron was down by the water, and he was helping them with the
paddle boats. And then the bumper boats, and it was fun. We kind of got asked if we'd like to do the recreational part, and we jumped on that. We thought that was neat. A lot of older people really didn't like to, I don't know, didn't really fit into it, but Gerry and I fitted into it, and that's one of the greatest things. We could meet you meet a lot of young kids, and they got a lot of energy, and so you direct that energy into the things that are for them to do down there, and that worked out really great for me and Gerry.
That's neat.
And I enjoyed, like I said, I took and helped the ones up in the above that were going on play miniature golf, and the kids would be on the bouncy toys, or they would ride the bicycles, and I'd have to make sure they all had to sign the waivers, and they got the equipment that they needed, and they had to be like, parent had to be around there. And I enjoyed meeting all the new people and the kids, and that's it's just a nice part about the whole thing. And when we first started, we were in housekeeping in Fort Collins, and we did a great job. We were even told how the inspector came in and said that they hadn't seen everything so clean, and that, which was really nice, and that made us feel good. But we really,
a lot of hard work.
Yeah, it was a lot of hard work, and that's okay. But then when we always said we'd like to do the rec center, and then the people that were down there, a couple had quit, and the job came available and nobody wanted it, and they asked us. And we said, sure. We just took it right off the bat. We said, hey, we wanted that job in the beginning. And so, we were able to do that. And so we only worked like 2 months there in housekeeping. And then the rest of it, we worked for the summer in
the recreation aspect.
In the rec center.
Would you go back?
Anyway. Well, we didn't want to go back to Fort Collins, Colorado, because
it was too far from the doctors.
Yeah, it was too far from our doctors. We had to fly back and forth and everything. Also, and that was only like once or twice, during the time, which wasn't that bad. But it was just the idea that in the beginning it snowed. When we first got there, we were trying to keep away from the snow. And the first night we got there, we woke up the next morning and there was 4 inches of snow on the ground.
We left Arizona and it was 105 degrees. And so, your long jeans had been put away for a long time. So we left Welton, Arizona, where we were previously staying in Arizona. And we headed up to Colorado, and we had no idea that we were going to be about 5,000 feet. And this was like May.
Yeah, it was the 1st of May.
And so, I got my shorts on and everything, and we get up there, and the next day there's 4 inches of snow. It's cold, cold, cold. So.
And then the second day,
out of the closet come the jeans and the big jackets, and so.
And the second day it snowed again, and a couple weeks later it was hail, and I mean they had big, huge golf ball sized hail, and anyway. But
that was our introductory to Colorado.
Right. I'm with you, Ron. I think that snow in May should be declared illegal.
I did. This is not natural. We got to get climatized.
Mm-hmm. What are some of the favorite places that you've traveled in your RV experience?
Oh, wow. Way down to Florida, to Clearwater, which was beautiful. And then we ended up going all the way up to Maine. And I tell you, when they say Maine's the capital, lobster capital, they're not kidding. Anything that sold food sold lobster. It didn't matter if it was a little hamburger stand like C&L in Castle Rock there. I mean, they sold lobster, and I'm surprised there's any lobsters left.
That's right. So, there are lobster. I mean, they have roadside stands where they'll sell you steamed lobsters for $10 some places.
Right. I mean, you got, you eat your fill, let me tell you. And then from there, we went to Massachusetts, and we were going to stay in a parking lot there at
Home Depot.
Home Depot. It wasn't Home Depot. It was Walmart. Because that's, where you stay if you have no, reservations anywhere. And we were meeting with Gerry and our cousin, and he lives in an apartment. So we were going to park our motorhome there and then commute over to his apartment. Well, we found we couldn't park our motorhome there. So he told us of a place that it was a satellite distribution center there. And so we parked there, which was pretty nice. They opened their gate for us, and we got to park there. And then we got to spend time with Gerry's cousin. But anyway, then we got lost. When we were so lost in Boston, this is midnight, and we're so lost that we're coming up the streets that are still cobblestone, if you believe that or not, in Massachusetts. But the people, they were more of a Mexican, Hispanic, Black, but they were so friendly. They were so friendly to us. They'd be waving to us, and of course, we'd take up the whole road. But they helped us out more than anything, and we had a
fire department.
Yeah. Anyway, we finally got to this intersection. The fire department had just got back from a call, and we asked him. I said, we're kind of lost. We're from the other side of the country, so we needed to find a freeway, and they were more than happy to help us out. And it was real nice.
But they were all clapping. They couldn't imagine seeing this 40-foot motorhome coming down the middle of their street.
Oh my goodness! So you were lost when you were towing. That's a fun experience. Have you faced any other challenges?
Yeah, Manhattan Island. Now that was
you didn't dare drive an
RV. Adventure that you only do once.
You did not dare drive an RV in Manhattan, did you? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I told Gerry, I go, since the people in Boston were so friendly, I said, why don't we do Manhattan Island? She goes, are you sure? And I go, look how nice the people are here. I mean, it couldn't be different. Well, boy, did I get a rude awakening. But, we got, that, have you ever seen that movie, French Connection? We were down in the Harlem area, Manhattan Island, in the subways, where the subways weren't under us. They were over the top of us. And it was, like I said, it was an adventure you don't only want to do once in your lifetime, because the only picture we got a picture of the Brooklyn Bridge, because most of the time you're watching where you're going and watching who's next to you, and the streets aren't that wide, and you're driving a 40-foot motorhome down that city. It wasn't long before you realized that you got to get out and find trees.
Do you guys use a motorhome now?
Yes.
Okay. What kind did you get?
We have an American tradition Fleetwood.
40-foot.
Yeah.
And we have our tow vehicle, which is our Jeep. And last year we also towed our Razor behind that.
Okay.
So we're 75 feet long.
Wow. Do you have any problems with some legal hassles and restrictions when you're trying to maneuver a convoy, basically, of that length through the highways?
No, because people say it's illegal to triple tow, and which we didn't. We were only towing two. We were towing our Jeep and our a Razor on the trailer behind the Jeep. So there was no anything illegal about that. And so we had a lot of law enforcement people pass us, and we never got pulled over for towing.
No one ever pulled us over. Never told us that we were doing wrong.
I don't think it's illegal per se, but some states have some restrictions, like you can only travel a certain speed limit if you're towing something 70 feet in length in combination, and some you can't tow it at night, some you can't tow it when it rains or snow, it's icy or whatever it is. But you didn't find any problems towing something that big?
No, the only thing that you had to go 55 miles an hour if you're towing a tow. And but other than that, we didn't have no problems, because we try to avoid going over the passes when it's snowing. Because when we travel, mostly when we go north, it's in May
now. Yeah.
And so other than that little issue in Colorado when we first got there, we never ran into any snow going there. Mm-hmm. And then most states, if you're out of state, and I'm guessing is that they're a little more lenient because you don't live there, you're just passing through. So they kind of, I think, because that's what a lot of people say. They kind of, they're a little lenient on the laws, I guess. But we never had no trouble. We stayed within the boundaries of the law.
The only trouble we had was when we were on the freeway in the East Coast, up in Manhattan Island, and we didn't know that cars could go underneath
on the
freeway, and all of a sudden there's a big flashing light saying, "You're too big, you're too big." And we stopped, and all of a sudden a policeman come up and gave us the right act.
Okay.
Anyway, he just said, you can't do this. So we end up having being told 2 different times while we were sitting there, because one told us to make sure we got out of that area. But we knew all of a sudden we couldn't go underneath there because it wasn't tall enough for us.
Right. You'd have been opened up like a can opener.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it was interesting when that sign was flashing, we kind of looked around and we were the only tallest things on that. And it was an 8-lane freeway too.
Wow.
And so
were you able to get off?
We got off, and with the direction from the second police officer, we kind of got an idea on how to go, but it took us 3 hours to get off Manhattan Island.
What are some of the perks that you've enjoyed as work campers?
It seems like it's always good because you always got a positive feeling about it. You're going to meet people. You're going to meet new bosses and new people to work with, and so it's an adventure because we don't know if we're going to be at another place or come back to the same one. It just depends on our health, and so but we've always been asked to come back.
Okay.
And
but I just like the idea of going. I like looking for different places because it's different things to do. Like we were in Welton here for Arizona for 3 years. This year we decided to come to Yuma. We're meeting all new friends down here again. And I mean, I enjoy meeting new people all over, which is, that's the nice thing. You have different friends everywhere. And, we love playing hand and foot, and now we're learning hand and foot and toe. So it's kind of interesting.
Okay. And when you're doing all of this kind of stuff, you're usually getting a free campsite in addition to being paid?
It's negotiable. Some you get a discount. You get a discount on your stay there, on your firewood if you need it, your electricity. It's always worked into how
every place is different, and we learn as we've gone down now what we're looking for, what we would like, and we don't want where we have to pay $880 a month. We're looking for when you don't have that much to pay. Like this last summer, we only had to pay $300 a month. Plus, we got $50 off our electric bill each month. Plus, we were able to do our laundry for free in the laundry. And we still got paid, $13.50 an hour each. So that was nice. We like, things like that are what we like.
How do you typically find your work camping jobs?
I get on Workamper.
Okay. Do you look for a specific job and head there, or do you look for a specific area you want to live and then try and find a job in that area?
Well, we don't have no particular place that we want to go because, this country is big. But we try to stay away from the East Coast.
Ron does.
It's a little too humidity for me.
Ron doesn't want to go to the East Coast, but I keep wanting to go to Hilton Head, South Carolina. And one of these days we just might. Mm-hmm. This year, like I say, we're looking all over. We're looking between South Dakota, Montana, Idaho, Washington, Oregon, California. Maybe even the top of Arizona, maybe, but I'm looking at all over. And there's a few that have come up that, we said, okay, yeah. And then I look at what they have, for us to do. And Ron doesn't want a job where it's just housekeeping, where both of us are doing housekeeping. He doesn't really want to do housekeeping anymore. I don't mind, but I also like the office work. Yeah, he would like to be outside, and I don't mind working in the office. I'm still learning that, but I just want, and I love baking, so that's a good thing. I would bake still for everybody. Mm-hmm. And anyway, Like I say, there's just different things. But we don't, when we work during the summer, it usually pays for a lot of stuff, and it pays for all of our winter. So we don't usually have to pay anything for our winter because we've made enough money to pay for our whole winter.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah. Do you have any advice that you would give to people who are considering becoming work campers or embracing the RV lifestyle?
Be able to work with people, and sometimes, people get a little grumpy, and if you get them away from what's making them grumpy and find something that they're interested in or something they do, it's always a plus.
What about you, Gerry? Do you have any advice for people?
I just say, look to make sure exactly what you want, and it doesn't hurt to try a different job. You try something, and if you don't like it, then you just, as long as you stick with whatever you have to do, don't quit. We are not quitters, and no matter what, we'll keep doing what we're doing because that's just the way it is.
Right.
We just enjoy. And just remember that you have to smile and be happy and not be down all the time.
You got to be positive. Your reflection, it has a lot to do with how people are going to react. That's our advice, is that, if people are starting out for the first time of being work campers or working in a park or what, you always got to have that. You got to have that better attitude, and you always will be a good reflection, and people will see that.
Very good. That's solid advice. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to tell us about your adventures. It sounds like you guys have had quite a varied bunch of experiences as work campers and as RVers. I wish you the best of luck in 2021.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
We really enjoyed this interview or talking. It was pretty nice.
I really enjoyed talking to Ron and Gerry Bays about their experiences while traveling and work camping. It sounds as though they're enjoying the time of their lives in retirement. I love that their biggest motivator for work camping was to keep busy in retirement. They said they could not imagine just doing nothing day after day, and work camping proved to be a wonderful way to keep active and remain productive. Plus, they get to visit a lot of different places they've always wanted to see. Work camping gave them an opportunity to really check out those areas and enjoy all the activities that were available to them. Gerry made a good point about knowing how tall your RV is before you get behind the wheel. They encountered a situation where they wound up on a road that could only accommodate passenger cars. Fortunately, some flashing warning lights and a helpful police officer got them directed to a road where they couldn't get stuck under a bridge. Work camping also helped the couple save money in retirement by giving them free or discounted campsites, as well as free or discounted electricity, internet service, laundry, firewood, and other perks. That gives them even more money to do special things when they travel. Ron and Gerry still have a number of places they'd like to visit while they're young enough to enjoy the experience. I wish them the best of luck in 2021 and beyond in all of their adventures. You can also enjoy an adventure even before you retire, and Workamper News can help you turn your travel dreams into reality. With its Diamond and Platinum membership tools, Workamper News is much more than a job listing website. The one-year memberships open the door to a one-stop shop for all things work camping. Being the original source for work camping, you'll find the largest number of job listings, be able to connect with an active community of work campers, and take advantage of resources compiled by experts who have enjoyed the lifestyle for many years. Most Diamond and Platinum members receive inquiries from their online resumes within a day of being posted. The Workamper Experiences section of the website has been piling up reviews of employers since 2007. Each archive issue of the magazine describes fun places to live and work. Hotline jobs are emailed directly to you so you can find jobs in states you're most interested in visiting. If you're serious about living a successful and enjoyable work camping lifestyle, you can start a free 30-day trial membership by visiting www.workamper.com/trial. This episode was sponsored by the National RV Training Academy in Athens, Texas. The Academy's 1-week live training or home study course will teach you everything you need to know to fix about 80% of the problems people experience with their RVs. You can also sign up for additional training to become an RV inspector, campground technician, or to provide mobile RV service. For more information, visit www.nrvpa.com. That's all I have for today's show. Next week, I'll interview someone from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers about jobs available with that organization. Thanks for joining me today on The Workaper Show.